There was a boy who understood everything, but could say nothing. His name was Ayan. Every day, he listened to English conversations in school. He understood the teacher. He understood the jokes. He understood the instructions. But when it was his turn to speak, his mouth refused to move. Words stayed trapped inside his throat like birds inside a closed cage. And slowly, he started believing something dangerous. Maybe English is not for me. One morning, during class, the teacher asked a simple question. Can anyone explain this paragraph in English? Ayan knew the answer perfectly. His heart beat fast. His hands trembled. His lips opened slightly. But no sound came out. Another student spoke. The class clapped. The moment passed. And Ayan felt invisible again. That day, while walking home alone, he asked himself a painful question. Why can I understand English, but not speak it? He didn't know. But his life was about to change. The strange discovery. One evening, Ayan met an old man in a quiet park. The old man was speaking English. Not fast. Not difficult. Just slow, calm, and confident. Ayan was surprised. This man was not highly educated. Not rich. Not from a foreign country. Yet his English sounded free. Ayan gathered courage and asked softly, "Sir, how did you learn to speak English?" The old man smiled gently and said something that changed everything. "I didn't train my brain. I trained my mouth." Ayan looked confused. The old man continued. Most learners only read. Only listen. Only think. But speaking English is not a thinking skill. It is a muscle skill. Ayan had never heard this before. The old man said one final sentence. If you train your mouth every day, English will become natural. And then he walked away, leaving Ayan with a new hope. The first practice. That night, Ayan stood in front of a mirror. His heart was racing. He felt silly, embarrassed, uncomfortable. But he remembered the old man's words. Train your mouth. So he tried something simple. He said slowly, "Hello. My name is Ayan. I am learning English." His voice was shaking. His pronunciation was broken. But something magical happened. For the first time in his life, he spoke without fear of people. Because the mirror never laughs. That small moment became the beginning of transformation. He made a promise. Every day, I will speak for 10 minutes. No matter how bad. No matter how slow. No matter how wrong. And this tiny habit started changing his future. The painful days. The first weeks were not easy. Some days he forgot words. Some days he felt stupid. Some days he wanted to quit. His mind kept whispering, "You will never speak fluently." But this time, Ayan did something different. Instead of listening to fear, he listened to discipline. Every morning, he described his room in English. He talked about his breakfast. He spoke about his dreams. Slowly, his mouth stopped fighting. Slowly, sentences became smoother. And slowly, confidence was born. Not suddenly, not magically, but daily. The breakthrough moment. One day in class, the teacher again asked, "Who wants to explain this paragraph?" Silence filled the room. Ayan's heart started beating fast. Just like before. But this time, something was different. His mouth was ready. His fear was smaller. And before his mind could stop him, his hand was already raised. The whole class looked at him in surprise. He stood up, took a deep breath, and began speaking. Not perfectly, not fluently, but bravely. And when he finished, the class was silent for 2 seconds. Then the teacher smiled and said, "Very good, Ayan." Those 3 words healed years of doubt. The secret of fluency. Months passed. Ayan kept practicing daily speaking. He discovered powerful truths. Fluency is not grammar first. Fluency is not vocabulary first. Fluency is daily speaking courage. He realized. Children learn language by using their mouths, not by memorizing rules. So he simplified everything. Speak daily. Speak slowly. Speak without shame. And something beautiful happened. English stopped feeling like a subject. It started feeling like a voice. Your turn begins now. Today, Ayan is no longer silent. He speaks with confidence. He helps other learners. And he shares one powerful message. Your mouth is stronger than your fear. If you can understand this story, you can also speak English. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need expensive courses. You don't need talent. You only need daily courage. So starting today, stand in front of a mirror. Speak for 10 minutes. Make mistakes proudly. Because the real secret is simple. Fluent speakers are not special. They are just consistent. And maybe, one day soon, someone will ask you, "How did you learn to speak English?" And you will smile and answer softly, "I trained my mouth." Every single day. The strange discovery. That evening felt different. The sky was slowly turning orange as the sun disappeared behind the quiet buildings. Ayan walked without direction, his school bag hanging loosely from his shoulder, his mind heavy with the same question that had followed him for years. Why can I understand English, but not speak it? He reached a small park near his house, a place he usually ignored. But today, something pulled him inside. Children were laughing. Birds were returning to their nests. And on an old wooden bench, sat a man who looked completely ordinary. White hair. Simple clothes. Calm eyes. But what caught Ayan's attention was not the man's appearance. It was his voice. The old man was speaking English on the phone. Not fast. Not complicated. Not impressive. Just clear, slow, and peaceful. Every word sounded natural. Every sentence flowed without struggle. Ayan stopped walking. For the first time in his life, he heard English that did not feel scary. It felt possible. A question filled with fear. For a few minutes, Ayan stood there silently, arguing with himself. Should I ask him? What if he ignores me? What if my English sounds stupid? Fear tried to pull him back. But something deeper pushed him forward. Maybe it was pain. Maybe it was hope. Maybe it was the silent dream he had hidden for years. The dream of speaking freely. His feet moved slowly toward the bench. His heart beat faster with every step. Finally, he stood in front of the old man. And in a very soft, broken voice, he asked, "Sir, how did you learn? English speaking?" The sentence was not perfect. The grammar was wrong. The pronunciation was weak. But the question was brave. The smile that changed everything. The old man ended his phone call and looked up. For a moment, he said nothing. Then, he smiled. Not the kind of smile people give out of politeness. But the kind of smile that says, "I understand your struggle." He moved slightly on the bench and said gently, "Sit down." Ion sat carefully, still nervous, still unsure. The old man looked at the sky for a second, as if remembering something from long ago. Then he spoke slowly. "I also could not speak English, for many years." Ion's eyes widened. This confident man was once silent too? Hope began to whisper inside his chest. The sentence no one ever told him. Ion asked again, this time a little clearer. "Then, how did you learn?" The old man turned toward him and said a sentence so simple, yet so powerful, that it would change Ion's life forever. He said, "I didn't train my brain. I trained my mouth." Ion felt confused. He had spent years trying to memorize grammar, learn vocabulary, read textbooks, watch videos silently. But no one had ever talked about training the mouth. Seeing his confusion, the old man continued, "Most students think English is a knowledge problem. But it is actually a practice problem." He pointed gently toward Ion's lips and said, "Your mind may understand, but your mouth is still afraid." The truth about fear. The park had grown quieter. Even the wind seemed to slow down, as if listening to this conversation. The old man spoke in a calm, steady voice. When you don't use your mouth daily, speaking feels dangerous. Your brain thinks. People will laugh. You will make mistakes. Stay silent to stay safe. Ion felt something deep inside him move. Because this was exactly how he felt every single day. The old man continued. But language is like walking. At first, you fall. Then you shake. Then slowly, you balance. He looked directly into Ion's eyes and said, "Fluency is not talent. Fluency is repetition without shame." Those words entered Ion's heart like light entering a dark room. A small secret, with big power. Ion asked softly, "So, what should I do?" The old man did not give a long lecture. He did not suggest expensive courses. He did not talk about difficult grammar rules. Instead, he gave one small instruction. Every day, stand in front of a mirror and speak English for 10 minutes. Ion blinked in surprise. "That's all?" he asked. The old man nodded. "That's all. But do it every single day. No break. No excuse. No shame. He paused, then added quietly. Your confidence will not come from thinking. It will come from speaking badly, again and again. Until bad becomes better. And better becomes natural. The moment hope was born. The sun had almost disappeared now. Golden light touched the trees, the ground, and Ayan's face. For the first time in years, he did not feel helpless. He felt possible. Not fluent. Not confident. Not perfect. But possible. And sometimes, possibility is the beginning of miracles. Ayan stood up slowly. Thank you, sir, he said, still nervous but sincere. The old man smiled again and replied. One more thing. Ayan waited. The old man said softly. If you speak daily for 90 days, your life will change. No big promise. No dramatic words. Just quiet certainty. A new journey begins. That night, while walking home, Ayan noticed something strange. The same road. The same houses. The same streetlights. But inside him, something was different. For years, he had searched for a perfect book, a secret trick, a magic method. But today, he found something simpler. A daily habit. And deep inside his heart, a new sentence was forming. Maybe I can speak too. He didn't know how long it would take. He didn't know how difficult it would be. But for the first time in his life, he was ready to try. And that simple decision was the true beginning of his transformation. The first battle with silence. That night, sleep did not come easily. Ayan lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling, while the old man's words repeated again and again inside his mind. Stand in front of a mirror and speak for 10 minutes every day. Such a small instruction. Such a simple action. Yet for Ayan, it felt like climbing a mountain. Because speaking English was not just about language. It was about fear. It was about embarrassment. It was about years of silence sitting heavily on his chest. The room was quiet. But his heart was not. Late at night, when the house finally became silent, Ayan slowly got up from his bed. His parents were asleep. The hallway light was dim. The world outside was calm. But inside him, a storm was beginning. He walked softly toward the small mirror hanging near his study table. For years, that mirror had only seen a tired student, a silent boy, someone afraid to try. But tonight, it was about to see something new. Ayan stood in front of it. And suddenly, his throat became dry. The most difficult first word. 10 minutes. The old man had said just 10 minutes. But the first 10 seconds felt impossible. Ayan opened his mouth. Then closed it again. His mind started whispering old fears. Your pronunciation is wrong. You will sound stupid. What is the point? These were not new voices. They had lived inside him for years. And tonight, they were fighting hard to keep him silent. He looked at his own reflection. His eyes looked unsure. His shoulders looked weak. His confidence looked almost invisible. For a moment, he thought of giving up. But then he remembered the final sentence the old man had said. If you speak daily for 90 days, your life will change. Something small, but strong, rose inside his chest. A broken sentence. That meant everything. His lips trembled. His voice came out slowly. Uncertain. Fragile. Hello. My name is Ayan. Silence filled the room again. The sentence was simple. Even a child could say it easily. But for Ayan, this was not a small sentence. This was the first crack in years of silence. His heart started beating faster. Not from fear this time, but from something new. Movement. When words feel heavy. He tried again. My name is Ayan. I want to speak English. Each word felt heavy, like lifting stones with his tongue. His pronunciation was unclear. His rhythm was broken. His grammar was weak. But something important was happening. For the first time in his life, he was not only thinking English. He was creating sound. And sound is where fluency begins. The strange feeling of hearing your own voice. After a few sentences, Ayan suddenly stopped. Because he noticed something surprising. He was hearing his own English voice. For the first time. Not inside his head. Not silently while reading. But out loud. It sounded unfamiliar. A little awkward. A little shaky. But also a little real. And that small reality made his fear slightly weaker. Minute 3. Minute 4. Minute 5. Time moved slowly. Sometimes he spoke. Sometimes he paused. Sometimes he forgot words. Sometimes he repeated the same sentence again and again. Today, I am learning English. I am not confident, but I try. I will not stop. The sentences were simple. Very simple. But repetition was doing something invisible. It was teaching his mouth that speaking is safe. When the mind tries to quit. Around the 6th minute, his brain tried to stop him. This is useless. You sound terrible. Go to sleep. Old habits always fight back. Because silence is comfortable. Effort is uncomfortable. For a few seconds, he almost listened to that voice. But then he remembered something important. Nothing changes until discomfort becomes daily. So he continued. Even with mistakes. Even with hesitation. Even with fear still sitting quietly inside him. He continued. And that decision was more powerful than perfect grammar. The first 10 minutes of a new life. Finally, after what felt like a long journey, 10 minutes were complete. Ayan stopped speaking. The room became silent again. But this silence was different from before. Earlier, silence meant fear. Now, silence felt like effort after courage. He looked at himself in the mirror once more. The same face. The same room. The same night. Yet something invisible had changed. Not fluency. Not confidence. Not skill. But something deeper. Proof. Proof that he could begin. Proof that he could try. Proof that maybe, just maybe, he was not as weak as he believed. A small smile. After many years. Before going back to bed, Ayan whispered one last sentence. I will do this tomorrow again. And for the first time in many years, he smiled at himself. Not a big smile. Not a proud smile. Just a quiet, honest smile. That only appears when hope is born for the first time. The invisible change. That night, sleep finally came peacefully. Because deep inside his heart, a new story had started. Not a loud story. Not a dramatic story. But a slow, steady, real story. The story of a boy who decided to fight silence. One small sentence at a time. And sometimes, the smallest battles create the biggest transformations. When doubt returns. Morning arrived quietly. Soft sunlight entered Ayan's room, touching the same mirror that had witnessed his first brave sentences the night before. Everything looked normal. The same table. The same books. The same silent walls. But inside Ayan, something had slightly changed. Not confidence. Not fluency. Just a small awareness that he had taken the first step. And first steps are always fragile. The second day is always harder. People think the first day is the most difficult. But that is not true. The second day is harder. Because on the first day, emotion pushes you. Hope pushes you. Excitement pushes you. But on the second day, there is no excitement. Only a simple question. Will you continue or stop? A quiet internal fight. After breakfast, Ayan sat near his study table. He looked at the mirror. Then quickly looked away. Last night felt powerful. But morning felt ordinary. And ordinary moments often kill extraordinary decisions. A soft voice inside him whispered, "You already tried once. That is enough." Another voice replied slowly, "But the old man said, every day." Silence. Two voices. One heart. This was not a fight with English. This was a fight with himself. Fear does not disappear in one day. Ayan stood up slowly. His steps toward the mirror felt heavier than yesterday. Because now, there was expectation. Yesterday, failure was acceptable. Today, failure would feel personal. He looked at his reflection again. The same unsure eyes returned. The same tight throat returned. The same fear, quietly waiting. And suddenly, he understood something important. Courage is not one moment. Courage must be repeated daily. The first word. Again. He opened his mouth. Nothing came out. 5 seconds passed. 10 seconds passed. His brain felt empty. Yesterday's sentences had disappeared. As if they never existed. Panic started rising. What if I cannot do it again? What if yesterday was just luck? This is how doubt works. It does not shout. It whispers slowly. Until you believe it. A different kind of start. Instead of saying, "Hello, my name is Ayan," he tried something new. Very slowly. Very softly. He said, "Today, I feel scared again." The sentence was honest. Not impressive. Not perfect. But real. And real sentences are stronger than perfect fake ones. Something relaxed inside his chest. Because he was not pretending anymore. He was simply speaking truth. When honesty creates flow. He continued. I don't know many words. But I want to learn. I feel nervous. But I am trying. Each sentence opened. A little more space in his throat. Each word reduced. A little more pressure in his mind. Because honesty removes performance. And without performance, fear becomes weaker. The discovery of rhythm. After a few minutes, something small but important happened. His sentences started connecting. Not smoothly. Not perfectly. But naturally. Like a child learning to walk. Unstable. But moving forward. He noticed his breathing. He noticed pauses between words. He noticed sound leaving his mouth. Without forcing it too much. For the first time, speaking felt slightly possible. Time moved without pain. Yesterday, 10 minutes felt endless. Today, something strange happened. Minutes passed. Without heavy struggle. He was still slow. Still making mistakes. Still unsure. But the pain was less. And sometimes, progress is not speed. Sometimes, progress is simply less pain than yesterday. The moment of disappointment. Then suddenly, he tried to say a longer sentence. His tongue got stuck. Grammar broke. Words disappeared. Frustration returned immediately. His face tightened. His shoulders dropped. For a moment, he felt the old sadness again. Maybe I cannot learn English. This sentence had lived inside him for years. And it was still strong. A new understanding. But this time, something different happened. Instead of stopping, he stayed silent for a few seconds, took a slow breath, and whispered, "It's okay. Mistakes are practice." The words sounded weak, but the meaning was powerful. Because this was the first time he was kind to himself while learning. And self-kindness is the hidden fuel of long journeys. 10 minutes. Again. Soon. 10 minutes finished. No miracle happened. No sudden fluency appeared. But something invisible grew quietly inside him. Stability. Yesterday was courage. Today was consistency. And consistency changes lives more than courage. A small promise to himself. Before leaving the mirror, Ayan looked into his own eyes and spoke one clear sentence. "I will come back tomorrow." No drama. No big emotion. Just a simple promise. But simple promises, when repeated daily, become powerful destinies. What he did not know. As he walked away, he did not realize something important. Real transformation had already started. Not in his pronunciation. Not in his grammar. But inside his identity. Because 2 days in a row, he had faced fear and did not run away. And a person who stops running from fear is already changing. The silent beginning of confidence. Confidence did not arrive loudly. It did not announce itself. It simply sat quietly, somewhere deep in his chest, waiting, growing, breathing slowly, like a seed under the soil. Before anyone can see green leaves. And seeds only need time and patience. The secret of daily sound. Evening returns softly. The sky outside Ayan's window was painted in quiet orange. The kind of color that makes the world feel slow. Almost thoughtful. Inside the small room, nothing had changed. The same table. The same mirror. The same silence. But inside Ayan, a very small strength had begun to grow. Not loud. Not powerful. Just steady. And steady things last longer than sudden excitement. 3 days of courage. Day 1 had been fear. Day 2 had been doubt. And now, Day 3 was arriving quietly. Many journeys end before Day 3. Because excitement disappears, and results are still invisible. The mind asks a dangerous question. What is the use of this? This question has stopped more dreams than failure ever did. But Ayan did something simple. He did not answer the question. He just walked slowly toward the mirror again. The weight of routine. Routine feels boring in the beginning. Standing in the same place. Looking at the same face. Saying the same slow words. Nothing looks special. Nothing feels dramatic. But real change, never looks dramatic. While it is happening, it looks ordinary. So ordinary that most people quit before magic appears. A different kind of silence. Ayan stood in front of the mirror. But today, the silence felt different. Not heavy like fear. Not sharp like doubt. Just calm. For a few seconds, he simply breathed. In and out. Listening to the quiet sound of his own breathing. For the first time, he was not fighting English. He was just present. The old man returns. That evening, as Ayan walked outside for fresh air, he saw a familiar figure sitting on the same wooden bench. The old man. The gentle eyes. The peaceful smile. The calm presence. That never forced. Only guided. Ayan's steps slowed. Something inside him felt both nervous and safe. At the same time, the old man looked up and smiled softly. "You came back," he said. Ayan nodded. "Yes. I tried, every day." The words were broken, but the truth inside them was complete. A question that changed everything. The old man listened carefully. Then he asked quietly, "Tell me, when you speak, do you try to sound perfect?" Ayan thought for a moment. "Yes." The old man nodded slowly. "That is why your mouth feels tight." Silence. Ayan did not understand fully. So the old man continued. "Your mouth is not afraid of English. Your mouth is afraid of judgment." The sentence landed gently, but deeply, because it was true. The real secret of talking. The old man leaned back and spoke in a calm voice. English is not learned in the brain first. It is learned in the mouth. Children speak before they understand grammar. Sound comes before rules. Fluency is not thinking fast. Fluency is allowing sound to move freely. Each sentence felt simple, but powerful. Ayan listened, as if every word was opening a locked door inside him. A strange new exercise. The old man smiled slightly. "Today, you will not speak sentences." Ayan looked confused. "Then, what should I do?" The old man said softly. "Just make sounds." Ayan blinked. "Sounds?" "Yes," the old man replied. "Like this." He slowly opened his mouth and said, "Ah. O. E. Simple vowel sounds. Soft. Relaxed. Without pressure. People passing by did not even notice. But something in those sounds felt incredibly peaceful. Sound without fear. Do not try to be correct. The old man continued. Do not try to impress anyone. Just let your mouth move. Like water flowing. Ayan felt shy, but he trusted the calm energy. of the man beside him. Very slowly. He tried. Ah! The sound was weak. But it came out. Nothing bad happened. No one laughed. No one judged. The world remained normal. And that normality felt like freedom. The first relaxed moment. They continued for a few minutes. Simple sounds. Slow breathing. Gentle repetition. Something surprising happened. Ayan's jaw relaxed. His tongue felt lighter. His throat opened slightly. For the first time, speaking did not feel like pushing a heavy door. It felt like opening a window. The truth about fluency. The old man spoke again. Fluency is not speed. Fluency is comfort with sound. When sound becomes comfortable, words follow naturally. When words become comfortable, sentences appear without fear. And when fear disappears, language becomes freedom. Ayan felt quiet inside. Not confused. Not worried. Just understanding slowly. Like sunrise. Entering a dark room. A promise under the evening sky. Before leaving, the old man said one final thing. From today, train your mouth every day. Not for hours. Just for 10 peaceful minutes. Sound first. Words later. Confidence last. Ayan nodded gently. I will try. The old man smiled. No. You will continue. Because he already knew. Ayan had crossed the hardest line. The line between wanting to change and starting to act. Walking home differently. As Ayan walked home, the night air felt softer. Street lights looked warmer. Even the silence felt friendly. Nothing in the outside world had changed. But inside him, pressure was slowly melting. And when pressure melts, growth finally begins. The beginning of real training. That night, standing before the mirror again, Ayan did not start with sentences. He remembered the old man's voice. Softly. Slowly. Peacefully. Ah. Oh. E. Simple sounds filled the quiet room. No fear. No hurry. No judgment. Just sound. And breathing. And presence. And in that gentle moment, without noise or drama, his real English journey finally began. When words start flowing naturally. Morning arrived quietly. Not with noise. Not with excitement. Just soft light. Touching the edge of Ayan's window. Like a gentle reminder. Start again. He opened his eyes slowly. For a moment, he forgot everything. No English. No practice. No struggle. Just breathing. And silence. And sometimes, real change begins inside ordinary silence. A different kind of morning. Usually, mornings felt heavy. Thoughts came quickly. Will I improve? What if I fail? Why is this so hard? But today, those thoughts were not loud. They were still there, but far away, like echoes in another room. Because something new had entered his routine. Peaceful sound practice. 10 minutes every night. No pressure. No perfection. Just sound. And breathing. And patience. Small things. But small things repeated daily become powerful. The mirror feels friendly. Ayan stood in front of the mirror again. But today, the mirror did not feel like an enemy. It felt neutral. Almost supportive. He remembered the old man's words. Sound first. Words later. So he closed his eyes. And began softly. Ah. Oh. E. Slow. Relaxed. Natural. No tight jaw. No shaking lips. Just sound. Moving freely. Through open space. And something beautiful happened. After a few minutes, a word came out. Without force. Hello? Ayan's eyes opened suddenly. He had not planned it. He had not pushed it. The word simply arrived. The first natural word. He looked at himself in the mirror. Silence. Then again. Very softly. Hello? This time. The sound felt smoother. Warmer. More alive. Not perfect. But real. And real things are always stronger than perfect imagination. A small smile appeared on his face. Not a big smile. Just enough to show hope. Why natural speech matters. Many learners force sentences. They push words. Like lifting heavy stones. But language is not stone. Language is water. When water flows naturally, it reaches far places. When water is forced, it spills and disappears. Today, for the first time, Ayan felt flow. Very small. Very quiet. But real. A brave new step. After sound practice, he tried something different. Instead of long sentences, he spoke tiny truths. Looking at the mirror, he said slowly, "My name is Ayan." Pause. I am learning English. Pause. I am not afraid today. Each sentence was simple. But each sentence was honest. And honesty creates confidence faster than grammar ever can. The memory of childhood. Suddenly, a memory came to him. When he was a child, he spoke his first language. Without thinking. No grammar books. No fear of mistakes. Just sound. Repeated every day. Until words became natural. So maybe learning English was not about becoming smarter. Maybe it was about becoming simple again. This thought felt incredibly freeing. Meeting the world outside. That afternoon, Ayan went outside to buy tea from a small shop nearby. Usually, he avoided speaking. He pointed with his finger. He stayed silent. He escaped quickly. But today, something inside him whispered, "Try one word. Just one. Nothing more." The moment of truth. The shopkeeper looked at him. "What do you need?" he asked in the local language. Ayan's heart started beating faster. Fear returned, but weaker than before. Inside his mind, two voices argued. Fear. Stay silent. It's safer. Courage. Just one word. His lips trembled slightly. Then very softly, almost like a secret, he said, "Tea, please." Silence. 1 second. 2 seconds. The world did not break. No one laughed. No one stared. The shopkeeper simply nodded and prepared the tea. A normal moment. But for Ayan, it felt like climbing a mountain. The power of one small success. Walking back home with a warm cup in his hands, his heart felt lighter. Not because the sentence was big, but because he spoke. And speaking once makes the second time easier. The second time makes the third time natural. And natural repetition creates fluency. This is the quiet law of growth. The old man's secret returns. That evening, he met the old man again. Before Ayan could speak, the old man looked into his eyes and smiled knowingly. "You spoke outside," he said gently. Ayan's eyes widened. "How do you know?" The old man chuckled softly. "Because your shoulders are relaxed. Fear always lives in tight shoulders." Ayan laughed quietly. Then he said, slowly but proudly, "I said, tea please." The old man nodded, as if hearing something precious. "Good," he whispered. "Very good. The next level of training." The old man leaned forward slightly. "Now your mouth knows that English is safe. So the next step begins." Ayan listened carefully. "From tomorrow," the old man continued, "you will speak every day to the world around you. Not long conversations. Just small, real sentences. Because real life is the best English teacher." A feeling never felt before. That night, lying in bed, Ayan noticed something new. Usually, His mind was full of worry. But today, there was quiet excitement. Not loud dreams. Not impossible hopes. Just a gentle belief. Maybe I really can do this. And belief, even when small, is the beginning of transformation. Words are no longer enemies. Before sleeping, he whispered one last sentence. Into the darkness. I will speak again tomorrow. The words felt calm, certain, alive. English was no longer a frightening mountain. It was becoming a slow, walkable path. And step by step, his voice was learning to belong to him again. The day confidence became real. Morning did not feel ordinary anymore. The same sun rose. The same birds sang. The same street outside moved slowly. But inside Ayan, something had changed. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Quietly. Like a door opening. Without sound. A strange kind of peace. He sat on the edge of his bed. Feet touching the cool floor. Breathing slowly. Usually, mornings were full of thoughts. What if I fail today? What if people laugh? What if I forget words? But today, those questions felt distant. Soft. Weak. Because yesterday, he had spoken outside. Just two simple words. Tea, please. Small for the world. Huge for his heart. And sometimes, one small victory changes the direction of an entire life. The mirror no longer feels scary. He walked toward the mirror. Days ago, this mirror showed fear, tension, doubt. Today, it showed calm eyes. Not perfect confidence, but real courage. He looked at himself and spoke slowly. Good morning, Ayan. The words felt warm, natural, alive. Then another sentence came. Without force. You are learning every day. A small smile appeared. Not fake. Not forced. Honest. And honest smiles are the strongest kind. The old man's final lesson. That afternoon, Ayan went to the park again. The old man was there, sitting quietly, as if he had always been there. Some people teach with noise. Some teach with long speeches. But this old man taught with silence. Ayan sat beside him. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Because true teachers know growth needs quiet space. A question that changed everything. After a long pause, the old man asked softly, Are you still afraid of English? Ayan thought carefully. Fear was not completely gone. But it was no longer strong. It was small. Manageable. Human. So he answered honestly. A little. But not like before. The old man nodded slowly. This is the final stage, he said. Not zero fear, but courage bigger than fear. The real test. The old man pointed gently toward a small bookstore across the street. Go there, he said. Ask for a book in English. Ayan's heart beat faster again. Not panic, but nervous energy. Because this time, he would speak a full sentence to a stranger. This was different from saying tea, please. This felt real. Walking toward the moment. Each step toward the bookstore felt slow, heavy, important. His mind whispered, what if I forget words? What if my voice shakes? But another voice answered, you are ready. Sometimes courage is not loud strength. Sometimes courage is simply walking forward while feeling afraid. Inside the bookstore, the bell above the door rang softly as he entered. The smell of paper filled the air. Quiet shelves, soft light, peaceful silence. Behind the counter, a middle-aged man looked up with kind eyes. Yes, he asked gently. The moment had arrived. The longest 3 seconds. Time slowed down. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. Ayan felt his heartbeat in his throat. But he remembered. Breathe first. Speak slowly. Simple words are enough. So he inhaled deeply and said, hello. I want an easy English book, please. Silence. When nothing bad happens. The shopkeeper smiled warmly. Of course, he replied in English. Beginner level? Ayan's eyes widened slightly. Someone was speaking English back to him. For a tiny moment, fear tried to return. But something stronger appeared. Confidence. He answered, slowly but clearly. Yes, beginner level. Thank you. And just like that, a real conversation happened. Short. Simple. Beautiful. The invisible victory. Walking out of the bookstore. With the book in his hands, the world looked different. The sky seemed brighter. The air felt lighter. Even the noise of the street felt musical. Because the biggest change was not outside. It was inside him. For the first time in his life, English did not feel like a wall. It felt like a door that he could open himself. Returning to the park, he ran lightly toward the park. The old man was still there, watching the trees move with the wind. Ayan stood in front of him, breathing fast, eyes shining. I spoke, he said. The old man smiled gently. I know, he replied. How? Ion asked again. The old man pointed to Ion's chest. Because your heart is no longer hiding the final truth. The old man's voice became softer than ever. Listen carefully, he said. You did not learn English today. Ion looked confused. Then what happened? The old man smiled. You trusted your voice. Silence filled the space between them. Deep, meaningful, complete. Because this was the truth behind the entire journey. Fluency is not only language. Fluency is self-belief. A goodbye without sadness. The sun was setting slowly. Golden light covered the park. Like a quiet blessing. The old man stood up. It is time, he said. Time for what? Ion asked. Time for you to continue alone. Not lonely. Just independent. Because real teachers do not create followers. They create strong walkers. The last words. Before leaving, the old man said one final sentence. Speak every day. Even small words. And English will become your friend for life. Then he walked away slowly, disappearing into warm sunset light. No drama. No music. Just peace. The beginning of a new life. That night, Ion opened his new English book. But something was different. He was not reading to escape fear anymore. He was reading to grow. Page by page. Word by word. Sentence by sentence. His world was expanding. Message for you, the listener. Now pause for a moment. Take a slow breath. And answer honestly. Are you still afraid to speak English? If yes, that is okay. Because courage does not start with perfection. It starts with one small word. Just like Ion. Say this softly. Repeat in your heart. Or whisper gently. I can speak slowly. I am not afraid of mistakes. My voice is growing every day. English is becoming my friend. Feel the calm in these words. Because this story is not only Ion's story. It is your story too. This is not the end. This is the real beginning. Because the moment you believe in your voice, your English life truly starts.